Hey folks, Saturday, June 1st, McFarlands Lake Fork Daily Rundown. Well, it's about 5:30 in the evening, and man, it's been a long week, but it's over. I got myself a cab ribeye steak and some asparagus for dinner. You can tell how tired I am, and I'm looking forward to that. But let's get you guys the rundown. Launched the boat this morning, daybreak, about a little after 6 o'clock. Water temperature was 80 degrees. When I come off the water around 4 o'clock, the water was 85 degrees. Remember, that's the upper water column, okay? In the morning when we launched, that's what the main lake was. Probably, I'd suggestively say for 10, 12 feet, 80 degrees. The warm trend, the upper subsurface, about a 5-degree warm trend, which means the backwaters will get real hot. Backwaters probably at least 85 or more, which can start to push that bait out of there, as we talked before, and make that deep bite on fire. The deep bite ain't on fire. And we got a couple other elements that are going on right now. Number one, the gates are open from last week's, well, a couple of days ago, flooding tornado weather. And as we talked, what the gates do is it makes fish reposition and a little tougher to catch, a little more finicky, like spooked deer. So they're a little more leery. We did catch fish yesterday and today. The same number. We had about 10 fish today again, with 4.5, 5-pounder being our best. A couple good ones in that Lake Fork special range. But basically, 80, 85 degree water temperature, warm trend, gates open, and not a breath of hardly any wind. Man, that's a recipe for disaster. We still caught fish. They ate the jig a little bit. Honestly, remember, if you watch me a lot, I talk about that 84 degree parameter. Well, first off, we're going to go over what we're throwing. I'm off of the PB&J, and I'm now throwing the 3/4 ounce Pake's Perch. Okay, you can use River Bream, Bass Candy. As I talked yesterday, regular size Rage Craw or lobster. The decision. Bigger fish tend to come with the lobster. But today, with 84 degree, 85 degree water temperature, I began to throw the worm. Now, I probably could have been throwing this worm the past week or two and getting some bites, but I promise you, for me and my measure, the jig first till the water gets a little higher. 78 on the jig, 78 to 84 on the jig, 84 and above, it's all the worm. So I broke out the Santone football jig, 5/8 ounce Santone football jig. I put a 10-inch power worm on it and caught the first good chunky, solid, probably 4-pound fish on the worm. 85 degrees. Kind of neat how that goes together, isn't it? The hotter it gets, the more that worm bite gets. But again, we had some weak conditions. We had 4 gates open, no wind. The bite was not. I mean, it was one fish here, one bite there. We missed quite a few bites in the morning that could have converted. Afternoon, the day saver. Talked about it before. Man, I used to say if I only had one bait, if someone told me you could only choose one bait to fish with, type of bait, it would have been jig. I got a couple years to see. One season's not quite enough. But I got a feeling what's sitting right here in front of me, the impact shad, that might be my new choice. Because this afternoon, we can catch bigs, we can catch big fish. But I finally said, all right, let's get off this grind and just see if they'll eat that finesse Carolina rig. Folks, they did. Right away, we began catching fish. And remember, my finesse rig is a lighter lined rig, 15-pound test, 1/2 ounce weight, bead glass bead, bobber stopper to protect the knot, 2-way swivel, 18 inches to 2 feet of line, 12-pound test. So 15 to 12, finesse-like. Big Carolina rig is heavy. We'll talk about that some more in the McFarlands Corner tomorrow's show. I apologize about last week's McFarlands Corner. It will not go on Facebook. I don't know. We're going to have a conversation with AT&T. We're going to have a conversation with Facebook and find out what the heck is going on. Why one day it can post a 5-minute show, snap my finger, and the next day it takes 20 hours to post that some 5-minute show. It's nonsense, but anyways, it is what it is. The impact saved the day. The numbers were starting to add up in our last hour. We started catching fish. Again, they weren't big ones. hey, there's big ones with fork, and I've caught them on that bait. It was just nice to see that. I've been fishing with the impact shad now almost exclusively since the 3rd week of February. The biggest sack that I've had, the 12 fish that we caught that day that weighed a little in the 35.5-pound range with a 9-pound kicker, that was all the impact. And I think it was about February 23rd. And I've never looked back. I mean, February to March, April to May. It's over 3 months. And 90% of my fish has been on that commodity bait right there. So, man, that's the daily rundown. Clarity's real nice. Lakes dropped 5 or 6 inches or even more, maybe more. I think I told you 5 yesterday. It's coming back down. It's going to stabilize real quick, just in time for some more rain. Mother Nature's crazy and unrelentless. We get summer and winter. We don't get anything in any fall or spring type weather anymore. And just to end you on a note, that's biblical. It's biblical, folks, that the seasons will become one in the end times. So I'm not telling you we're in the end times. We're a long ways from it. But we see a lot of signs of it. So if you ain't right, get right. Find that man in the sky right there, because he lives right in your soul. The Lord our God, Jesus Christ. So thank you so much, our Savior, too. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Michael McFarland. I'm really tired. Going to take tomorrow off. Going to shoot you a McFarland's Corner. Hopefully get it to upload. YouTube's taking it. So if you really want to see McFarland's Corner, go to YouTube. The Lake Fork Guide, Mike McFarland on YouTube. And I appreciate you. Have a good weekend.